Popular news, Taiwan and the world.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock. I'm Nancy Sun with the top of the hour news. The Ministry of Labor says today that 1.1 million labor workers have applied for monthly pension payments since the system was established 10 years ago. The MOL says that the Labor Pension Fund has paid out a total of 833 billion NT so far. Before 2008, retired laborers can only receive their pension payments in a lump sum. Labor officials say nowadays, retirees can still get their pension that way, but 80% of workers have opted for a monthly payment. Members of the Pingpu Aboriginal tribe are set to be officially recognized. The fourth public hearing on the matter has been held today at the legislature, with members of that group expressing support for the move. Lawmakers approved a draft amendment last August to the Status Act for Indigenous Peoples that would include the Pingpu among Taiwan's officially recognized indigenous populations. One more public hearing remains to be held, and members of the group are hoping for the bill's speedy passage into law. The government has revealed a new music video as part of a promotion of little-known travel hotspots around the island. The Tourism Bureau says that the video was created by university students who promoted and performed the song and visited 20 spots in person to film on location. The Bureau's Secretariat Office head, Tsai Ming-ling, says that it's an opportunity to showcase lesser-known areas such as Da Peng Bay or the Sanxiantai Arch Bridge that may offer new experiences for travelers.
这是一个很好的休闲活动。那可是很多年轻人也许他不知道，台湾有哪些好的景点可以去。
Tsai also points out that since the video is from the perspective of younger travelers, this may inspire other young people to follow in their footsteps and explore new scenic areas of the island. The Tourism Bureau is offering travel subsidies of up to 30,000 NT for those who bring their friends and family to these hotspots and upload photos of their trip onto the Bureau's promotional website for a chance to win the money. In international news, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in will plant a commemorative tree and inspect an honor guard together after Kim walks across the border tomorrow for their historic summit. Kim will be the first North Korean leader to be in the southern section of the border since the end of the 1950-53 Korean War. The talks on the southern side of the border village of Panmunjom are expected to focus on North Korea's nuclear program. Moon will receive Kim after he crosses the rival's military demarcation line tomorrow morning. Seoul says the two leaders will start formal talks at 10:30 a.m. local time. They will later plant a pine tree on the border using a mixture of soil from both countries, mountains, and water from their respective rivers. At least 13 children have died after a speeding train crashed into a school van at an unmanned crossing in the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. Our India correspondent Neha Punya reports.
The van had nearly 25 students on board when the driver crossed the railway crossing and reportedly stalled on the tracks. That's when a speeding train rammed into the vehicle. 13 children are believed to have died on the spot and 7 have been critically injured. India is home to 7,000 railway crossings that are unmanned and particularly accident-prone. The Indian Railways has vowed to eliminate nearly all of these in the next 3 years. Neha Punya, New Delhi.
And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meeting this week with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The meetings between the leaders of the world's two most populous nations is set to take place in the central Chinese city of Wuhan tomorrow and Saturday. The Wuhan meeting comes at a crucial time for both leaders. Beijing is dealing with U.S. tariff threats on Chinese products, which have led to fears of a trade war. Modi needs steady economic growth ahead of a national election next year. The Indian Prime Minister will be traveling to China again in June for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. And now taking a quick look at this afternoon's weather back here in Taiwan. The Central Weather Bureau is calling for a mix of sun and clouds for the north, center, and south. While there will be partly cloudy skies in the east with occasional rain over Taitung County. Current temperatures are 25 in Taipei, 29 in Taichung, 28 in Kaohsiung, and 24 in Hualien. And that was the ICRT News at 4 with me, Nancy Sun.
Thank you for tuning in for Easy News.
Oops, that was a little short.
Actually, you were about right. The news came in a little early. So, hey everyone who's watching the live stream, you might notice that this is not Leslie that you're hearing. This is Eric Gao. Leslie is busy with Joey and Yvonne from our programming department. They are out doing a interview. So they asked me to step in behind the camera and help out with today's live newscast with the lovely Nancy Sun.
Yes, and Eric Gao, our lovely newscaster, our handsome newscaster, will also be on hand to help answer questions should some questions arise.
So far, we do have some 40-odd listeners tuned in right now, but none of them have launched any questions about the news stories so far. Hello, everybody who have said hi.
Hello to Li Rui Ting. Hi. And hello to Allison Xie. Hi, ladies. My ladies. Cooney's here, too. Cooney Joe is a regular listener. Sorry, Leslie tied up with something can't watch. Oh, you missed Leslie. Can't watch the program. Wait, what are you saying that if Leslie's not here, you're not going to watch the program?
No, this person was busy, so she can't be here for the entire thing.
Sorry. My bad. And
hello,
then
Melody.
Lu Junyue says, hi, Nancy. Hi. Okay, so one of the stories we talked about, we'll just give a quick overview. One of the stories we talked about is the Ministry of Labor, and they're talking about how many retired laborers will opt for, like, after they retire, they'll opt for like a lump sum payment, and then how many will take the monthly payment. I feel like it's almost like that story where this girl in Canada won the lottery. Did you hear about that story a while ago?
Which one?
She's 18 years old, and then on her 18th birthday,
We'll get to that, Leslie.
What? What's going on with Korea? What? All right, okay. Oh, and Annalyn Pavia says, I love your voice, Nancy. Thank you. It's my moneymaker. I call it my moneymaker. Anyway, so this girl in Canada, she won the lottery. She bought the ticket when she turned 18 years old. And then she won the lottery, and it was like the grand prize. So she had to choose between taking a lump sum or getting like 1,000 Canadian dollars a week for the rest of her life.
That's good money. That's good money if you can make it, man.
Yeah, and in the end, of course, she chose the weekly payments. Of course, because she's 18, you know.
But that is the smart move.
Yeah,
I mean, I think statistics show that out of people who do win the lottery, the vast majority of them wind up with more debt than they did beforehand because they start spending it without realizing that, you know, all these new cars that you buy, the new houses that you buy, there are taxes and there's insurance and there's things that add up after you spend the money. And then, of course, they quit their jobs because, like, I'm rich now, I don't need to work. And then, like, 2 years later, they come back and, like, I'm broke now. And of course, once you win the lottery, all of a sudden you have so many more friends and relatives than you did before.
That is so true. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I've heard.
So, I mean, pension is obviously not going to be as much as a lottery payment. But it is, you know, money that you've earned throughout your working career life.
That's right. Actually, the Ministry of Labor says so far 1.1 million labor workers have applied for the monthly pension payments. And they said that the payments to these people has totaled 833 billion NT so far. 83亿, which is a number like I cannot imagine.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I can't.
Anyway, so they say 80% of workers choose that monthly payment, obviously. And this is coming at a time when... Let me turn down the music a bit. This is a good song, but, you know, okay, we'll come back to that. Anyway, this is coming at a time when some people are protesting changes to the pension system for the government, for civil workers, for firefighters, for policemen, for the military. This protest has been happening for the past couple of days, actually, and if you're not directly involved or you don't know somebody who is directly involved, you might have noticed that there was a lot of traffic congestion or changes to bus routes and stuff around Taipei, Maine, and around the Legislative Yuan. That's what's happening recently. Yeah. Michael Jr. Lamson, our intern, says, hello there, Leslie. And then Leslie says, get back to work, Michael.
Yeah, get back to work, Michael.
Get back to work.
We can hear you snickering there.
Ke Dali is here. Ke Dali says, smart move. Hey, Ke Dali, regular listener too.
Dylan Shu says, a little bit scared by the number of dying children caused by that car crash. It is a tragedy.
It is so hard for me to read stories about children now, especially after having my own child. I feel like it just makes me cringe. Let me just give you a little bit of background. So this happened in India. 13 children died when they were on the school bus, and then a train crashed into their school bus. It was at an unmanned crossing, so there's nobody directing the traffic. There's nobody was warning them about this, I suppose, and they're still trying to investigate and see what happened. But this comes just a few days after there was another huge bus crash. It wasn't a crash, sorry. A school bus skidded off the highway, and then it fell into a gorge, a really deep gorge. And then 20-some-odd children died in that case. And so I'm sure in India there's questions about, traffic safety and the safety of school buses and drivers and all
India
that.
does unfortunately have a history of poor traffic conditions, poor road conditions.
Right. That is
and the country is so large that it's going to be next to impossible to fix that nationwide. Right.
So that is an ongoing issue. And then even just earlier today, there was a story about in Taiwan about the body or the remains of a baby that was found, like an infant who was just born a few days ago, and it was found in the river.
Yeah, found in, I think, Anping River in Tainan, Anping Canal. They say investigators think that the baby was born premature, like just at 7 or 8 months.
7 or 8 months, right.
Probably already dead for a day or two before it was discovered. So they're trying to figure out, what happened. Was the baby dead before it fell into the water? Afterwards? Who put it there? Who abandoned it? Things like this. They are asking that anyone who has maybe seen anything or heard anything suspicious to please report this to police, because they are trying to find out what caused the death of this newborn.
Yeah. Really. Like, anytime I read stories like that now, or if I see footage on the news about things like that, I watch that and cringe, and then I go look at photos and videos of my baby. I don't know why. I just have to you
gotta reassure yourself. He's fine.
I can't. Anyway, Andy Wright says mobile phones are major reasons for crashes. That is so true. And not just for people who drive or bus drivers, but also for pedestrians. It is actually illegal to be on your phone, looking at your phone while you're crossing the road now. But I still see a ton of people do that.
Yeah, just because something's illegal doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right. Protect yourself, peoples. Watch out for safety. Yeah,
at least when crossing the road, you can look up for the 10 seconds it takes.
Guys. Facebook will always be there. What do you Ke Dali says they're called what?
Smombies? Is that
Smombies?
Okay, I haven't heard that one before. I had heard them called fubbers, like phone snubbers, but I don't think that's a real thing.
What is Smombies? You're a mobile zombie? Then it should be Zombies.
Smartphone zombie? I don't... Okay, Ke Dali, you're going to have to explain what the smom part is. We know the ombies part. We know ombies. But the other part, we don't get.
He said that's a real word. Oh,
smartphone
zombie. Thank you.
we almost got there.
Smartphone zombie. If there's a Wikipedia page, that's legit.
It's totally legit. It's a real thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Ke Dali.
Check out BBC Podcast. Oh, you're like our fountain of knowledge. Thank you very much for filling in the gaps of our inadequacies.
You're going to be quite busy in the weeks to come.
Yeah. Keep tuning in. Okay, so the other Taiwan story was members of the Pingpu Aboriginal tribe. They could be officially recognized by the government as an official Aboriginal tribe. It's the fourth public hearing. The fourth public hearing has been held on the matter and it's been approved. So one more hearing, and then the group is hoping that it'll eventually quickly become law.
They'll still have to pass the final votes in the legislature, but there shouldn't be too much opposition to this, I feel.
Right. In Taiwan right now, there are 16 officially recognized Aboriginal tribes. Some of them that you might know, the Amis and the Ataya and the Paiwan. And there's 16. There's a lot.
There's a lot. We can't list them all here.
Right.
All right, quickly before we go, going back to Leslie was asking, what's going on in Korea?
What's going on in
Korea? What is going on in Korea?
Oh, God. That's the international side. Major news happening is North Korea, the leaders of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and then South Korea, Moon Jae-in, they will be meeting this Friday. Tomorrow. They will be meeting tomorrow, and it's going to be the first time a North Korean leader has been south of their official demarcation line, their official border, since the war, since 1950 to 53, the Korean War. So yeah, it's a huge deal, and it feels like a huge 180 for Kim Jong-un's position, but he's kind of hinted that he may be willing to give up his nuclear ambitions in exchange for, I'm sure,
sanctions relief,
concessions, more business, yeah. And they will meet at 10:30 a.m. local time, and then there's going to be, they're going to watch a ceremony, and then they're going to have a banquet together later that night, and they will sign some kind of agreement. We don't know what kind of agreement. Sign some kind of agreement, and then deliver a joint statement later in the day. So,
and apparently plant a tree of some sort.
Plant a tree, right. So it's going to be a pine tree, which is apparently a type of tree that's loved by Koreans. Correct me if I'm wrong, not Korean. And then they will use soil from both the mountains of both sides, both Koreas, and then water from the rivers of both Koreas, which is actually poetic and beautiful. World peace.
Yay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back with Nancy next Tuesday for more live news broadcasts. Leslie should be back behind the phone by then. So until next time, thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye. Bye.